Well, hello everybody, welcome on in, come on down. Nice to see you. You're watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lou, some call me Cheat Speak, and it's Sunday night as we bring this to you right now. But you know what? That sounds like the perfect time to kick off the road to PAX West. That's right, it's finally happening. We are just a couple of weeks away from everyone's favorite gaming mecca of the West Coast or something like that. And to celebrate, of course, we're kicking off our beautiful, glorious journey to it by playing games and producing content that matches that PAX West experience that we love to see when we go and are now familiar with, this being our second PAX West. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming along for the ride here. Lots of announcements, lots of fun things to talk about as we get through the night. But first of all, let's get into some Kart. Normal goodies apply, which means there's going to be a lot of fun things to do, including the dice camera, which is back, so you can roll exclamation point D20 at any point throughout the night, and we will go ahead and give those D20s a workout, and then whatever happens from there, happens from there. It is entirely in your hands, so do that early and often. With Fort coming in right away, nice to see you off the top of the stream here. Wow, wow, wow. If the mic sounds a little crunchy or weird, let me know. I played with it a fair bit before this. That's a 13, which means it's time for many dabs right off the bat, and that's a 1D12 worth of dabs. What fortuitous timing, and that's, believe it or not, that is a single dab. all that tease, all that build up, and you get but one dab. So there you go. All right, nice to see you. Well, I wanted to get angry. Well, you're just gonna have to roll again. I don't know what to tell you. I wanted to get nice and angry to kick off tonight and reinforce the pain that I've been feeling in Mario Kart World lately. I think I hate this game. I truly, truly do. And we're going to talk about why and all the things that have, you know, made me so grumpy about it. But for starters, since the Kart hate train is well documented here, I have made some adjustments and let go of my beloved briefly, to great effect. So I've complained a lot about how the drift was tuned differently in Kart World compared to Kart 8 and how it just feels so much less impactful. Well, it turns out all I had to do was change to a lightweight character on a vehicle that had a high handling stat. So the baby characters and a lot of the small animal characters are the ones that have the best handling. Combine that with a cart that provides good handling or a bike, and you have super tight, super useful drifts again, feeling pretty much like Mario Kart 8 does. So this is a much more familiar feeling setup, and I'm here for it. So it's now Baby Rosalina, but I can go, you know, I could be any number of these really light characters, right? So I could be any of the babies, and that would work. Baby Rosalina, Toadette certainly qualifies, and then there's other, you know, these animal types like Swoop is one that's pretty well in that range. Possibly someone like Parabitty-Bud, and then there's degrees to this, of course. But that's sort of where I'm at. So you can see with Baby Rosalina on the standard bike, look at that handling stat. Now speed, I haven't found much of an issue, but the other key bit is acceleration, which you can't see behind me, but it is like 3.5 bars. You can see handling is 3, acceleration is 3.5. And that's making all the difference here. So as you'll see as we go along, I'm sure, it's really impactful in game modes like online races where you're constantly getting hit by stuff and you need to try to get back up to speed. You are there nearly instantaneously with light racers that accelerate fast. So that does make a lot of difference. Fat shaming Rosalina in 2025. Fat shaming her ever is wild. The game made her a medium weight racer, not me. So take it up with the Tendo about it. But it is really impactful, especially if you are hit by something where you continue to move. I thought she was a heavy. So I'm not even the one doing the fat shaming. I thought she was a medium weighter. Let me go back in here. So if we go to her stat, well, let's compare. So a definite heavyweighter here would be someone like DK, right? Is that a heavy? Maybe she is a heavy. From the kind of handling stats and the charts that I found online, it looked like she tracked more like a medium racer. But maybe you're right about that. I'm not entirely sure now. Also, because I'm psychotic and I like data to back up when I feel insane, I've been chronicling the last, like, couple dozen races that I've been doing online since that new patch dropped, 1.2, that supposedly increased the frequency of traditional 3-lap courses online. I wanted to pull some data myself just to sort of see if that was true or not. And I don't know how true it really is. So what I'll probably be doing here tonight as well is just sort of keeping track of how many times we get intermissions or route tracks versus your traditional 3-lappers. So I'll probably have... I have a text file up here. So I'll keep tabs of it in the background. We usually go for... Oh, I'm sorry. I should have... I don't know how voting is going to work. We used to have the system where it would go left to right up on the top of the screen, but now that they're dynamically shown, maybe type out the name. You might have to... I'm trying to devise a new system right off the bat here. How's this, Fort? Give me some thoughts on it. I'll take the majority vote for whoever puts thoughts down. So, for example, you say Sky High Sunday, I would do it. You say Sky High Sunday, and inevitably, like, Drake's Cove comes in and says Wario Stadium, I would, pick between the two. Or flip a coin. Thankfully, they're up on screen. It was easier when they were just sort of listed across the top. But I think that's going to have to be how it works in World. So here we have an intermission track going to Wario Stadium. How's the volume levels? Good? I was playing with a lot of stuff before we got started here. Justin's been reminding me that my mic settings are maybe suboptimal and that the compression's not great and I peak a lot. I think that's just the curse of partially having a USB Yeti as the primary mic. I just don't have the control over it that I would with like a proper interface. But isn't it wild that I'm just on the outside here and I went from like 2nd to 9th and 10th? Nope. 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 I think peaking the mic is inevitable on Kart days. I think that's true. Once the item train starts and you just start getting walloped by stuff, I'm finding that's always the main problem. And it's so hard to overcome that in a game that is this fucking random. Now we're going to come barreling into Wario Stadium here. I will inevitably get hit with something, and that will be death for this race. Because now we're out in first. I can't tell you. I was playing this afternoon. I lost track genuinely of how many races it begins. I lost because I got blue shelled after the final item boxes on lap 3. Or, the end of the route race. Ludicrous shit. It almost feels pre-programmed. We have to break his defenses. No! That took out all of my bananas at once. And Jesus Christ. there's a lot of nuance that I have to complain about. Being lightweight and going off-road, you know, you're not as impacted, so you can cheese it a little bit on those shortcuts. Yep. Oh my fucking god, please! It's happening already. That could have gone worse. It is 100% a conspiracy against you and you alone. I would not be surprised if that was the case. Did we get points for that? We actually did! Already, we're going to have grievances with the point system. I'll get first, and I'll get 40 points. I'll get second to last, like 18th out of 19. Through no fault of my own, just an item cavalcade on the last item box, and I'll lose 70 points. In a game that is so randomized like this, it is just frustrating beyond measure. The biggest takeaway that I've sort of had to come to terms with about the game lately is this. Because of how it's set up to 24 racers per track, all of the item spam, all of the ridiculous ways that you get subjected to things, not being able to defend yourself. Type a name, folks. This is basically a random number generator disguised as a racer. It is so random. It is so boozer. Good choice. We'll wait until about 5 seconds in, which the timer's behind my head, so you'll have to trust me, and we'll average it out. Boozer it is. I got a new filtered water bottle, and it's nice. Let's do a quick dice cam here for Fort. That's Shy Guy Bazaar in the background there. That is 19. Self-sabotage. All right, well, you know how that goes. We're gonna wait about 10, 15 seconds before we continue on. That's our self-sabotage. Ironically enough, maybe not self-sabotage, because the one time I intentionally tried that in a race recently and waited like 10 seconds in the back, I won. Which is just garbo. It's like that donkey video. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I am good for it, thank you. Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've streamed anything. Life is busy. Life, you know, happens to you. And we've kind of been slacking on content in general, especially in the run-up to PAX West here. We're kicking off the road to PAX West a little bit later than I was hoping, but we are on it officially, which is always a good thing. And there will be more coming up over the next couple of weeks on it, so that'll be fun. Part of it, too, so we were cranking out that Control-Alt-Deal review, which I hope everyone had a chance to take a look at. I was like, what? Dark in there was a... And here we go. Back in the thick of it. And boy, are we. Let's grab some coins. Immediate death. Stay with the pack or don't. This basically turns into did you get a mushroom or not simulator. That's the vibe of this shit. Okay. The only problem there with the lightweight characters is how much you get bullied. Yeah? Squish. We are on a very different path than I thought we were. This is not the normal track at all, okay? I don't even know, where the fuck are we? I've never seen this before. Very unique path through. Very unique path, but maybe I like it. Dab after every item hit you get. Like every time I get hit with an item. Next race I will do that. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. That was third. So see, that's proof's in the pudding there. We waited 10 seconds. We ended up in third. Unreal. Where was I? But yes, we did the Control All Deal review. Every time I hit someone. Okay, that's... so never. Got it. Yeah, I can do that. The same music track, too? Wow. So we were doing the Control Alt Deal review, and I was actually polishing that up in Chicago when Sarah and I went out to Chicago for my birthday, which was last week. Well, last weekend, technically. It was a week today, as a matter of fact. So we were working on the Control Alt Deal review while we were out there, and that actually ended up being a total team effort. Give us a list here. That was a total team effort because Teresa ended up recording all the gameplay footage for it while we were playing the review copy. I did my usual writing and editing for it, but Justin ended up needing to narrate it because I didn't bring any recording equipment on vacation with me. So they all stepped up and helped out with that one, and we're appreciative of it. Giving coverage to, you know, those lesser known and not, you know, super well advertised, well, not super well, but not, you know, very heavily spotlighted indie games is something we absolutely love to do. And there will always be more of that coming. Mirrored Mario Bros. Circuit. Okay, I haven't been keeping track of... So it's been, what, all intermission so far? Yeah. Wario Stadium, Shy Guy Bazaar. Right. Miiverse integration would make this so much better. It's funny you mentioned Miiverse, as a matter of fact, because that came up on the podcast recently that we just came out, and we will play a snippet for you in the intermission here tonight before we switch over to Mario Kart 8, because we're not doing World all night long. I will actively lose my mind. It's about all those weird, funky connectivity features that Nintendo puts into their consoles and has over the past few decades. So we'll be exploring some of those, and we already have on the podcast, so if you've listened, thank you. If you haven't, well, you're in for a treat. And that's episode 13 of the podcast, which is nice. All that fun, bite-sized stuff. What a lovely coincidence. It's almost like people have heard it already. We like when you listen to the podcast, though. Thank you. Ugh. But see how quickly you recover as a lightweight racer? It's great. I don't know that wall play is actually faster. It never ceases to amaze how items will just hit you. Yep. It's a zero coin kind of race, and we've all had them. God fucking damn it. See what I mean? You start, like, you lose a little bit of momentum, and you are just immediately targeted and punished for it in the harshest ways possible. That's all it takes. So we'll probably lose points for that, even though it was borderline a top half. We will. 30-point loss for coming in 12th out of 21. That is the halfway point, and you lose that many points. It's because there's a lot of, like, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 pointers in the game. And the game expects you to do much better against them rather than people who are on a little more of your point level. Of course, that doesn't fucking mean anything because you can get completely demolished and it doesn't matter what the person's skill level is. So I don't think that's super fair. Now, obviously, it's a way to kind of push people out of the upper echelons of that skill system. I get it, but I don't, and it's kind of really frustrating. Part of me preferred how the old VR systems worked, where it wasn't as dependent on quality performance. Like, yeah, you would gain or lose points, but it wasn't that dramatic. And you would constantly gain much more than you would lose. It just feels a little better than being so penalized like that. All right, what do we got here? This one, you'll see, is separated from the arrow, not connected with arrows. That is a traditional 3-lap track. But you said Choco, so Choco we gocko. You can see, even though Desert Hills sucks, most people are voting for it just because it's a 3-lap track. And that is a great drift, and that is why switching over to lightweight characters has made this feel so much better. I didn't fully appreciate Hamburger. When is the next... Ooh! When is the next Fire Break... When is the next FBC Community Game Night? We should do that soon. We could potentially do that this week, if you'd like. There was, Sarah has been itching to do a cozy game night, so it would probably not be that. That might be coming up sooner rather than later. We were supposed to have a cozy stream this weekend, and, I decided to get angry at Kart instead. So that will be coming. But yes, I think sometime in the next, like, week or two, we should definitely do it. The drift. Okay. I love that! I didn't need the item anyway. You know what? For as cathartic as it is, landing on a guy in midair and bonking them with your item, it is a pain in the ass when it happens to you. Look at this absolute hell we're in here. If you're really close to someone, you can snipe them with the coin shell. Well, it's not a snipe, really. It's more of a sneak attack. Okay. Tell me how a coin shell in 13th is going to do this for me. It's not. Now, we're probably going to lose points on this one, too. 21 points. It's crazy. 11 out of 20. I mean, that's almost top half, but that's not enough. With this particular room, I have to be like top 5 to get points, and it's so inconsistent with how random this game is. I think it's a really punishing system. It is supposed to reward and encourage high-level play, but with so many fucking racers in a game, it's impossible to do consistently. It drives me insane, pun intended. And it's been tough because of how ridiculously random it is. Honestly, online, it's been hard to have fun. That was good timing. That's Sarah's sly way of saying she wants to play Stardew again. We do have to ramp up the community farm again, don't we? We haven't really been playing with Full Metal and Xerox, though, so for a bunch of different reasons, mostly just conflict of time and scheduling and things like that. Because as I'm sure you've seen, Full Metal is going very much full steam ahead with her own channel. And so, you know, the focus has mostly been just sort of on our own stuff. Because she kind of joined up with us for that hot minute, and we were, you know, kind of co-producing things for each other, and that didn't last too long, because we ultimately just kind of got bogged down in our own things. It's another intermission here. But them's the breaks sometimes. Coins. I walked right into that puppy. Many golds, many coin shells in this breakfast cereal. That was a good one. It's hard because I don't know what each food stuff will give you yet in terms of how much boost. You can kind of tell sometimes from the size of them and things like that, but you can't always tell. So that's just something you kind of have to have memorized, and I don't have it memorized yet. That is such a useless pull. In first place, you can get the coin box, and they increase the frequency of it, so I could never have guarded against that. But you are at least up to speed a lot faster, as you saw. So if there's any small comfort in that, and what a gap in item pulls between second and third there. A lot of Rosalina up here. Get out of here. None of that worked. Well, I think that actually helped me. We're just going to keep a solid flow here. Was not the plan. Look how tight you can take these turns. It's great. And we screwed them over big time. Good. It really does feel so much more natural with the handling being so much better. Oh, we made it! Let's get out of the chaos a little bit. Did that stop him? It did! Wow! Holy Lord. I joked about the Switch 2 being a $500 patch to my games, but I honestly have played my Switch 2 more in the past 2 months than I did with the Switch 1 last year. I think we gained points for that one. It'd be better. Performance updates really was what I needed to come back to it. I agree with you 100%. It has made so much of a difference in a lot of games. And not just for me, but for other people, too. Fortnite is a good example, where it was essentially unplayable on the original Switch. It looked terrible, it ran terribly, the controls were incredibly unresponsive. It was, in practice, not a very playable game. Now it's perfectly fine. Runs more like something like the PS4, a little bit better. And you love to see it. So I can actively play Fortnite on this wherever I am, which is wonderful. Other older releases are kind of the same way. I know that stuff like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom got a massive bump. And stuff like, you're mentioning Pokemon with Pokemon Unite. I'm not super familiar with that one, but Scarlet and Violet, my God, it is night and day. And yeah, they still, art direction-wise, look like poo-poo. But they're really honestly playable now, truly, and incredibly smoothly at that. So it's wild how much of a benefit that boost has been. You have the emulation layer helping with that, plus, you know, Switch was always my indie game machine, and man, they all run better than ever. And it's all true. You know, latent performance improvements in some cases, you know, patches to get things, you know, running a lot better. In other cases, it's wonderful. So I agree with you 100%. It was definitely the objective boost that the platform needed to not only keep up with the industry, but keep, you know, a reasonable value proposition for people who are onto the platform. Yeah. Makes things playable where they weren't. And we always love that. Oh, that didn't go so well. What is happening? Yep. I don't even know how. Just gonna take our punishments. This is all we need at the moment. And we're caught right back up. Gonna be a little conservative with that shortcut, but yeah, it's delightful. And I'm much the same way, where my Switch, aside from playing, you know, the core games like Mario Kart or Splatoon, I really wasn't playing with it much. And it really had turned into that sort of Nintendo delivery system that people criticize the Wii U for being. But now, it is every bit the necessary powerhouse. I fucking hate these Goombas. You fucked off. Hot take, I don't love DK Spaceport either. Had I actually done the tier list, it's bumped down a fair bit since I first started thinking about it. Oh, the drifting is so good. I'm so much happier about it. This is why. It is among the most chaotic tracks in the game. And for my money, one of the most unfair ones. Don't want to get popped up in the air. You're going to get okay. This part always seems like I automatically lose a few places here. I will get hit by something. Oh, we haven't done a bullshit counter in a while. But man, I would love to see it for Worlds, because it's got to be through the friggin' roof. And I've got a super horn coming into this bit. See what I mean? This is the worst part of the track, and it takes all of the fun out of it. It all funnels down to this really tight bottleneck. It's item hell. I really don't like Spaceport. I don't. That's where it truly is just like roll the dice and see what happens. Ironic, and this is the ironic part, and I hate it so much, but now that I've tweaked the Kart situation, and I'm, you know, the lightweight character, and it actually feels good to play, finally, I'm doing worse than ever before. And I kind of hate that being more comfortable with the control scheme is somehow translating into a less performant set of races. This game is bullshit. I hate it. It's that idea, much in the same way that Double Dash was, where it's just so kind of tough to wrangle with and randomization heavy and arcadey, and you know, it's not even that it's casual, because this is the most technical Mario Kart by far, like by a long shot. but it's just so heavily randomized online with how chaotic it gets. It's annoying, man. It's annoying. I don't like it. We will eventually switch back to Kart 8. I usually go Peach Stadium there just because that gives you an opportunity for Rainbow Road, which comes up so sparingly because the only place that you can have a route to it is Peach Stadium, which is nuts to me. And it's the worst one! Koopa Troopa Beach is the worst track in the game. Change my mind. All of the routes to it are boring. They're all super heavily water-based, which we hate. It is a simple, just circle. In all flat, very little room for experimentation and well, I don't want to say chaos because it's always chaotic. It sucks. The N64 Koopa Troopa Beach would have run circles around it. Funnily enough, because it's just one big circle. Okay. Yep. I like that that can go through your shell, too, and we get booed. Okay. The items really don't offer much actual protection. And we should probably talk about how the item system here is more frustrating than maybe it's ever been, especially online. When you run into somebody, anytime any of your items connects with them, and since they automatically rotate around you, it counts as a usage. So if you're bumping into someone because they were in front of you, you can use 2, 3 of your defensive items at once because there's no cooldown between them, and that really sucks. Thanks. My lone green shell. Nope. I would've got hit again there. One item. First to 8th at the very end of the track. Now, through no fault of my own, that's only 2 points. Because there were 20 racers. That's when it's so fun. Every Mario Kart is like that, but again, it just feels so ridiculously punishing in World for some reason. It's unfun. I will say, now that I have a reasonable handle on things with the light Kart characters, I don't openly loathe it the way that I used to. And that was a big revelation recently when I finally got a hold of that. But damn. This, it's so frustrating. If there's fewer people in a race, it's better. I imagine that the sort of 12-player limited kind of quote-unquote pro races you can get into, like through the Mario Kart World Discord and things like that, are better. Because they're a little more structured and organized and not as blatantly chaotic. Because, man, it is brutal out there. And I guess that's basically been my main hang-up with it. You have to be willing to accept how ridiculously RNG it is. You have to accept that you're gonna get tanked into second to last. You have to accept that it's seemingly nigh impossible to get into first and hold it. And I don't know that I've been okay with that yet. And I haven't been able to just sort of swallow up that idea of, like, if I'm doing well, I should be able to hold my lead. And not just really throw it to the wolves. So, maybe in time. And it's not even from, like, a hyper-competitive perspective either. It's just from that thought of, like, you know, how much randomness is to it, right? Just cause some chaos behind me. Love a shell refresh. I cannot overstate, once again, how much better it feels. See what I mean? That right there. Just because they were next to me, I burned all of my shells on them. And I kind of hate that. It's a little too quiet up front here. They were right there with us too. Wow. Okay, well, we'll take that. That's how it's supposed to feel. $45 points behind my gross head here. Once you get caught in that item hell, man, it is rough back there. Alrighty. Again, though, that level of control really has made a lot of difference here. But you see how it's a lot of these same tracks over and over because we've stayed in this kind of southwest cluster of the map for the most part. And I don't know that we've really seen much else. And you can get kind of caught in this loop of a lot of the same tracks over and over again. You go to Choco Mountain, and then you go back this way, and then you go back this way, and whatever. I kind of don't want any of these. It's Airship Fortress anyway. And it's another intermission. Was that an intermission that we just did? No. I'm gonna, I think, tally up after this tonight, this stream tonight. I will put in the Discord what my findings were in terms of the current ratios under the new patch. Yeah, enjoy that. You know you gotta love them booing into a feather. You know that they were just pissed about that. That's great. Now it starts. It's not uncommon. I mean, you basically expect to get hit by 2 things in a row whenever that happens. And when there's more racers in a race like this, it's gonna happen. so risky to hold this shit. Always. Always something behind you. Yep. Now the other thing is the item lag that you so frequently see, which we'll have to talk about. And the idea of, like, you hit them on your screen but not on their screen, so it doesn't count. But you get hit on your screen and it always counts. That has ruined so many races. I'm getting better at that. Nice. Should clear out some of the riffraff here. I was just waiting to get hit by that green. But we dodged it. And pretty good. That's not bad. It makes a difference. I'm telling you that having that tightness of the drift to actually be able to carve your lines properly is making all the difference. So I don't care that I get bumped around a lot more. I don't care that my top speed might be suboptimal. Ultimately, you put together the build that you feel most comfortable using and is most natural for you. You try to follow the meta and use like a heavy cart or, you know, something with specific handling stats just because it statistically is the best in the game. Doesn't mean that's going to be the best selection for you. Now, see, that's where being a lightweight is maybe not so handy. But, back it up. You know, in Mario Kart 8 have always been regular-ass Rosalina in a regular-ass bike. And it has worked for me for a decade. It's not the most optimal build, by far. It's probably one of the bottom, in the bottom half of meta builds if you put it all together like that. I don't care, because it works really well for me, and it's proven results. I've won entire national level tournaments with it. So it, you know, it helps to find the build that works for you and stick with it. It was a panel and I missed it. Because now this, I will take getting bumped around and I will take, you know, slower top speeds if it means I can actually corner comfortably. No question. I'm thinking another half hour or so of Kart World here before we switch over to Kart 8 for comparison's sake. And that'll be good for us tonight. And that'll kick off the road to PAX West properly. Of course, the road to PAX West, where we bring you convention-centric content based on or around the PAX experience as best we can in the run-up to it. Mario Kart, obviously a massive piece of our PAX experience here at Hypocritic with how I participate in tournaments and gotta, you know, show up and show out and all the rest of it. The last one at PAX West, we did the Mario Kart 8 tournament desktop mode, like normal mode, not handheld. And I made it to the semifinals, top 8, which was pretty good. So I'm excited to see if it is World this year and not 8. This would be the first major Mario Kart World tournament that I participate in, and I know it's going to go badly. Like, you don't have to be concerned about that. So it'll be strictly for experimentation purposes. And my first few tournaments for 8 really sucked. So that's not as big a deal. I'm ready for you this time. We've seen this track before, so we kind of know what we're doing now. The feather may help us. See, oh, it's so great. I can take these turns properly. For once. And with confidence. Yeah! Yeah! Wow, did I just have fun? Playing Mario Kart World? I don't believe it. Someone's got to clip that. I truly... I am lost in the sauce on this one. That was 50-some points, I think. Holy hell. Can you believe it? Reversey. Crown and everything. I don't... That's not right at all, I don't think. Nintendo, please fix. How do I submit a bug report? This is... She's moving. Look at those RPMs climb. That torque down low, baby. No! I was busy. Oh, there it is. We're overwriting all votes on this one. Oh, can you imagine? No! Why you bugging me, boy? Boyo. It's great. It's very... I'm doing science over here. This is research. I just want my crown. They're coming from your Lucky Charms. With my luck, we will random out of this. Yes! Okay! We're going into Rainbow Road with the crown. With lightweight drifting on the menu. This is a 3-lapper. Oh, baby. Get spicy, folks. Oh, it's beautiful. It's finally happening. Let's do it. Here we go. Useless. Useless guess. Ooh. See, they got hit, but they didn't. And that's what I love. Did we talk about this Rainbow Road yet in depth here, chat? What do we think? Tell me your thoughts. Give me some thoughts on Rainbow Road. Did they break out of it? You can mushroom out of the blue shell pretty easily, so I'm assuming that's what that was. We saved ourselves there. See how much faster you get out of that lightning? That is the justification for the high acceleration on our lightweight characters. I don't think that was actually very helpful. Hit someone, dab. While we have the time. And we don't really fire the red shells off until we're off of this thing. See ya. The Twomp did not block it. That's interesting. Good place to burn that coin box. Less likely people will get at it. Because you're too busy dealing with the space station. We've caught up. And here we go. Into heaven and or hell itself. And it's ours to lose. Oh, God. We are holding every defensive item we possibly can. I'm sweating. My hands are drenched already. That worked out. We got a double item box up here. That's good. There's no front-running drums, but it seems like we got a little cushion. Here we go. Yeah, buddy! Finally! All of this bull honky! Torturous! Redemption is here! It is nigh! Oh, man. History! It's one for the books, yo! Oh, my God. Did we just become best friends? I think we did. Holy Lord, that, oh. No words. Not a lot of words for that one. Just relief, if nothing else. And we finally nailed it down and had a good run where we really didn't run into significant item spam. We took advantage of a couple, lucky item drops ourselves. They kind of got blue shelled out of it in the space station, and then once we kind of took control, we had that locked all the way into that final section, which we've proven on stream time and time again to be hell on earth for us. So I'm just pleased. That was actually the case here. All right, so we're going to maybe give it, like I said, another 20, 30 minutes of World here before we switch back over to Kart 8. You're, of course, welcome to join us in either game. !FC or !friend code is the way into that one. And like I said, I've really been keeping track of what tracks I've been racing on and the weighting of those intermissions or route tracks versus 3-lappers. So we're going to post all that in the Discord, see our findings. Just for curiosity's sake, and again, to kind of feel like I'm going slightly less nuts when this game dunks on me. We had the crown for that one too. That was our glorious actual coronation day on Rainbow Road, I think. I'm just thrilled that it happened on camera. I have documented evidence now of not sucking. That's all I've ever asked for. Oh, the crown. It does go away the first time you get hit by something. And it begins. That is the only problem. You get bullied by everything. I think even Koopa is a higher weight class than Baby Rosalina is, so you get bullied big time. It's actually hard to see. If I go down, you're going down with me. I like coins. Hello. Still squeak second. I love that I launched a red shell, hit him with it. It did the I got hit animation, and he didn't actually stop. So to the game, even though it hit him on my screen, off server side, it didn't hit him, so okay. Well, we're at 8279, which I have to say is a massive improvement from where we were before. We had dipped below 8K this afternoon off camera, so any degree of improvement there is a massive, massive boon for us. See what I mean? How many times have we seen Choco Mountain just by staying in the same little cluster down here? It happens where you just sort of get locked in and see the same stuff over and over again. You don't get the variety that you would normally if this game would shuffle it up. Nah, I didn't like any of that. Okay. Intermission back out to Desert Hills, I guess. See how he's even outspeeding me there a little bit? That's kind of what happens. Ultimately, in this sort of situation, I don't care about the top speed as much, because even though the intermissions are a little more kind of boring, driving heavy, they're so fluid with mushrooms everywhere and shortcuts and items. That top speed really doesn't matter that much, whereas like in time trials, for example, it's going to make all the difference. So that's not really the stat that I care about so much. Took him down with me, that's good. And we're back up to speed quickly, which, again, is very helpful. Fuzzy batteries. What does that even mean? Now we're prepared. Oh, you bastard. Since there is no regional option either, they're always worldwide races, more or less. So the item lag tends to be at its worst, which is why I would only play regional in Kart 8. And it was nice to have that distinction. With them going strictly worldwide for matchmaking in this, the item situation is a lot less fair. Damn it. And that's pretty annoying. Unless, did that hit him? Bitch. And they didn't slow down, so take that. So we're in pretty good shape here going into, well, maybe not. Nope, there were 4 or 5 red shells. I get the point, my guy. Jesus. Okay. Everyone's angry out here. The Super Mario Land enemies are a great touch. Right before the drop. Helpful, actually. Ooh. Oh, they're cutting that one close. They're coming in hot. Maybe not. Okay. That works too. Lovely. $41 points. We are above 8,300. Maybe this is making a difference. Wow. It's all still bullshit, but I'm happy that it's rolling my way here a little bit. I got a new water bottle with a filter built into it, and I really like it. It's like the 3rd time the Toad Harbor songs come on tonight. I do like Mario Bros. Circuit a lot. Even as a route track, I would normally pick it. But Bowser's Castle is A+ in this iteration too. So what do you do? We go Mario. But now watch for Bowser here. Yep. Well, I expected a little more. And it's Bowser anyway. So we got the 3-lapper. Okay. It's laps versus routes, folks. It's like shirts versus skins or something like that. King of Rod. Poor Rod. Someone's exclusively king of him. That can't be fun. I'm not at the point where I can do the big shortcuts around the map here, so apologies in advance. Is anyone trying it? Not yet. I didn't even know that was possible, so that's fun. Well, now that we're in the back, we're not going back. Extra fun with how bumpy everyone else will make this, inevitably. That was a hellish boomerang for everybody, wasn't it? See, now we're going to see people start to take that shortcut. But you can get bumped off of it so easily. It's kind of risky. So if you're not at the front of that, you kind of got to question whether it's worth the risk. That is just a wall. That's how you want to do it. That's the one bad thing about the feather. You gotta get back up to speed to really get rid of it. I don't even know. We're moving again with every coin, though, so that was a really good timed coin shell for us. Keeping us in it. Seems the point is to transition over to this side. None of them targeted Stark, which is fun. Both fifth, though. I really think we might have finally had a breakthrough here, moving to the lightest class eraser. This is crazy. Let's see what fifth in this room is going to get us. Oh, the little bitty buggy at the end. That is 12 points to put us at 83-32. Pretty good. It's pretty good, right? This is pretty good. I think it's pretty good. Whew. Have a beautiful, this is a lovely almond iced coffee, courtesy of Sarah, Miss Nephroptosis. Do I need coffee at 10:30 at night? No. Am I drinking it anyway? Yeah. Our joke today was she was making most of the coffee, so it was the Girly Pop coffee shop. That's the terminology for the beloved ladies in your life is the Girly Pops. See, again, it's just all these same tracks. We haven't even touched the right side of the map at all past Peach Stadium, I don't think. So that's, we didn't even race there. So that's when this kind of gets monotonous. Owie. Don't burn the baby. That's very pretty. Randomed out to Wario's Stadium. Whatever. Giving it credit, though, and we've talked about it before, how comprehensively remade most of these retro tracks feel. Or are. They feel completely different. They, in a lot of ways, are brand new tracks. Like, Wario Stadium in this game is like... It took me a solid lap or two before I... Even though I knew, you know, it was in the list, to have me recognize... Oh my god, this is Wario Stadium when I was playing it for the first time. A lot of them are that transformative. Choco Mountain's another one where you can't distinguish it. The art pass is so wildly different. The elevation changes, how much more dynamic the track layout is. It's just crazy. So big props for that, and you know, continuously so. That's still pretty stunning. If you do that close to the edge, which is always dangerous with a lightweight, fewer coins for the masses to pick up, which is nice. Ooh, that's fun. So that kind of helped us. That's the one time where bopping off of someone in midair would help you, is recovering from a blue shell. So that's interesting. Now, I had no control over that, but someone chose to drove under me, and I took advantage. Oh boy, here we are. Coming in hot. Taking those turns sharply. Again, though? That's the other fun thing about the intermissions. They're so long, you can have 2 or 3 blue shells in a single game. And that's commonplace. 8th place? Oh, you dared get 8th out of 19. You lost 20 points, my friend. So that's annoying. So we got hit by 2 blue shells there. So that was not our... We were determined ahead of time to lose that one. Why is the soundtrack not available outside of the game yet? I mean, I know that the Nintendo Music release is inevitable, but come on. It is that time of day. But Drakes, there's been breakthroughs. We're a lightweight cart now, and that has quite literally made all the difference. All right, we can't really go 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so give us a name. Type out, you know, shorthand if you want. Dry Bones, Airship, Bros, Random. No, it's still garbage, but I'm at least finally starting to have some fun with it. The big thing that I noticed, and I was telling Fort before, was they so dialed back the drift. I thought it was just kind of a curse that had been put upon anything, but the lightweight carts, and now I'm the lightest cart class now, where I'm Baby Rosalino, any of the babies, some of the light animals, those in a standard bike have an incredible handling stat, so now the drift feels more or less like it does in Kart 8. So it feels a lot more natural for me now. I'm vibing with it a lot more. So even though it's still chaotic and ridiculous and basically a random number generator disguised as a racing game, I'm at least not loathing my existence anymore when I play it, which is good. It kind of was just a matter of finding that build that felt a little more comfortable and natural, and I think we have it now, so that's been really, really nice. Oh, okay. Can't even be mad about that. Where I ultimately kind of landed on this, see, this is what I mean. Where I kind of landed with it was, it's a lot like Double Dash in that so much of this is out of your hands. It's so random, it's so weird feeling, it's so just like and everything everywhere all at once, that you kind of, your level of enjoyment of it, I think to some degree comes down to how okay you are with getting 20th like 3 games in a row through no fault of your own. And having that randomization and RNG be such a core component of the game experience. I haven't figured out how to be super okay with that yet. Like, it feels like, you know, you front run most of the game. I don't want to lose. Full Metal with a resub. Blue Shell is loose happy play. Why you gotta be that way? I didn't ask for this. Doing the shortcuts, folks. I'm learning them. Here we go. I haven't gotten out of this one too well yet. That's a problem, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to be more okay with how random it all is and just sort of offer it up and be like, well, there it goes, but not yet. In the meantime, though, let's see if we can close this one off solidly. Look how much tighter we can take this. Look at this. Yes! Oh, yeah! That's great. By a friggin' mile, too. Look at that mini-map. We finally had a breakthrough, folks. I think we finally figured it out. All it took was switching to, like, the lightest weight class and getting the drift that much tighter. This feels great. Now, 37 points. You can't see it behind my face, but 83.49. Oh, I think that last little drift around the spiral at the end of Airship Fortress really sums it up. Because that would not have been possible. We'd be stuck on the outside with regular Rosalina. Abso-fucking-lutely not. This is the shortcut. Whoa. So how do we dismount from this? You don't. Well, that kind of worked, though. I did have to leave Rosalina on a bike all day. It's over. However, we're now baby Rosalina on a bike all day. So it's not a total loss. And you can ping pong between anyone in that weight class. So I could be baby Daisy on a bike all day. Give us some votes here, chat. You gotta list out, you gotta tell me which name, the name of the track you want. Can't just be 1, 2, 3, 4 anymore. But it will be in about 5-10 minutes when we switch back over to Kart 8, so type it out. Dry Bones, Toad, Summit, Random. You can use shorthand if you want. Todd. It's 1 vote for Todd. It's 2 for Todd. So you can abbreviate too. That works. That's even more efficient, so thank you, Full Metal, for that idea. We were telling them that you've been neck deep in your own channel endeavors, and I don't think we've mentioned it, but they will be at PAX West as well with us, so maybe we cross-contaminate. Who's to say? Whistle Stop Summit it is. What's wrong with Todd's factors? Nothing's wrong with Todd's factors. They're great factors. Todd's factorials. He's a math man. Oh, this was a 3-lapper. Oh, we love to see it. Like I said, too, in the Discord, I'm going to post the statistics and the results of my extensive tracking of all the races I've done since the update to see if it actually has been more generous with 3-lappers since. We're curious about this, and we're going to find out. We'll see what the data says. I definitely don't have an efficient route through this track yet. But now that I have a cart built I can actually work with. Maybe that'll change. Whoa. It's chaos out there. I have 1 coin. Look at you just taking those turns so tightly. It truly does make all the difference. I can't overemphasize that here. I love that it tracks them. There you go. We lost our Rang. Avoid the red shells. Hi, Roddy. So if I can... Yeah! There we go. I can push them off. If I draft behind them, that's great. Okay. We're good. Oh! Did we get him? Oh, he got us. Okay. That's all right, though. That was pretty good. It's crazy. It is honestly ridiculous how much better this feels. Having that, you know, tune up in the racers. I'm at 83.69. Nice. To get us feeling a little bit more like 8 felt. It's all about that level of comfort. This is what I was saying before. You don't have to follow that meta build of like, this is the most optimal card, or this is, you know, best for XYZ. It's ultimately your own comfort level that decides how good a build is or not, especially online. Yeah, obviously you're going to want, there's metas around time trials, and some carts are objectively better than others, but in this, because it's so random and insane, you know, you ultimately want to feel comfortable and capable with your build instead of following a certain trend. So with this, you know, the key that has made the difference for me is the acceleration and handling combination is so much more comfortable and easy to use. I can be performant in races. I can take my lines and my curves the way I want to. I can drift how I expect it to work. And you're kind of seeing the results here over the course of tonight, where Kumbaya, bitch! We're queued up. 5, 4, 3. We lock it in about 3 seconds. So it really does make a difference. And I don't know why I didn't try this sooner, since, you know, complaints about the controls have been so high on my mind for this. But it is something. Now, there's a lot of other outstanding issues here, and it's still pretty frustrating to play a lot of the time, but I'm not, like, tearing my hair out and screaming into the void anymore, which is good. Now we start getting more technical. Now we start to learn the shortcuts, now that we have what feels like finally a solid grip on the controls. There's a Drake's Cove comment I will get to right after this. Yep. What really pisses me off is how you fishtail after you get hit by a lot of things, and it messes with your controls. I've had that weight of, like, the rear tire drifting around push me off of a track and out of bounds, because it kind of pulls me off of it when I'm riding on the side, which I think is dog shit, personally. But, again, I'm so kind of used to how 8 used to do it, where you almost got glued to the track, so you never had to worry about that. Some will argue it's a bit more strategic now. I will argue that it's poo-poo dookie. But we're all allowed to have our own opinions, whether or not they're correct. Wink, wink. Okay. Now, again, I want to stress there, look how much quicker you get up and running after a bolt, after a shock there. That's why the amazing acceleration on the lightweight carts is so good, even though their top speed is suboptimal and among the worst in the game. What matters online, getting back up to speed quickly after you get hit, because you're going to get hit a lot, and being able to take turns and shortcuts and drifts reliably and consistently. Check and check. And it's worked out so much better. So I guess I would just encourage you to experiment if, like me, you've just been struggling for such a long time. Because there are, you know, maybe unexplored combinations or character types that you'll end up being more comfortable with. I really wanted to be Rosalina on a bike all day. Alas. Yeah, I was waiting for that, because I was doing the same thing. Solid 4th here to, yep, wrap it up. People having different opinions than me? Preposterous. Oh, I know. I know. One thing that could be fair to see, even though I don't think Nintendo ever will. In Crash Team Racing's remake, you can swap engines so you can play as any character with the class you're comfortable with. That is interesting. No, I don't think they will ever do that, because they tie so many of these statistics to the weight of your character and not the engine that it is. So, yeah, you could, in theory, have a heavy character. Like, I thought Rosalina was a midweight character, but I guess she's more heavy. You could have Rosalina be as adept as a lightweight character with a tiny bike or a tiny engine. Similarly, you can give Baby Daisy as much weight as humanly possible. But it doesn't seem like something that Nintendo would ever really consider. Alas. Give us a vote here, folks. Shy Guy. Todd's Factors. This is probably the 7th or 8th time we've seen Choco Mountain tonight. I don't know that we've raced on it yet. Shat Gus. Oh, Gus. I'm sorry, Gus. And locking it in. Shat Gus it is. Gus shat himself. Oh. Tough day at the office for Gus. And we get Choco Mountain. All right, where's Full Metal? It's Summoner. Not to mention, kart customization in Crash Team Racing is just visuals. It doesn't affect the gameplay. There's another difference. In Kart, it is everything. If this goes well, this might be our last one for World so that we can switch over to 8. With Singapore music, I think. Beautifully done. A lot of shell action behind us. Bonk somebody. He's got the item. That would have been good to pop here. Oh, he's going down. You gotta pop the shell well, or the horn well before the item block, because it remains as an item slot for you until it's fully used. So while you're firing, it takes up an item slot. Can't just pop it right before, like here. Alas. And that's a lot of coins right off the bat here. Okay. I'ma chuck ya. Charge and chuck. Oh, okay. Over the hill. That was fair. Everyone got smacked with that, seemingly. So. And we've been sufficiently punished. Right into some coins, though. See if we can pull something off here. Ninth. Intermissions are just as prominent. You had one job, Nintendo. Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, I'm gonna, like I said, I'll post in the Discord my findings, because I probably have... I might be close to 100 races at this point. So I have some good data on the 1.2 update and how the ratios have worked out. So again, if you're not in the Discord, !Discord, just to kind of sanity check on some of this stuff, I will post that afterward. I'll try one more here. That wasn't an ideal one to go out on. I will give you some programming notes before we go into the break here. As you might have seen in the opening if you were with us, we reworked the standby screens because we are not only attending PAX West again this year, as you know, this is the road to PAX West, after all, but we are partnering up with LandFest once again to host a charity stream and take part in their LandFest charity stream zone. I think that's what it's called. From the show floor at PAX West. Give us a vote here as well. So, just as we did for East, we were playing Mario Kart 8. and we raised somewhere over $300 for Child's Play. I think this year we're going to be raising for Landfest directly instead of Child's Play, but maybe we'll, you know, go between different charities depending on the event. And we're very excited to do this with them again. They were great to work with for East. Happy to work with them again to try to raise money for good causes. And we're off to the spaceport. So more details on exactly when we're doing that and how you can tune in and take part as we get closer to PAX West. But that is indeed happening, and that's very exciting. So thanks to the folks at Landfest for letting us partner back up with them on this. Second PAX in a row that we're doing it with them now, which is nice. There will be more reviews. This lobby sucks. They didn't pick what I liked. So rude. I was given a hot take before. I really don't like DK Spaceport because of how chaotic, and see, you can just take these turns now. It's beautiful. I don't like how chaotic and kind of narrow it all gets. You sort of get funneled into these chaotic little bits of narrow track where you just get hit like crazy, and it drives me insane. The theme is very good. It's basic, it's very dynamic, and I mean, that's why a lot of people like it, because it is chaotic, and it's a very long section track a la, you know, Mount Wario or the rest. Well, that didn't work. I just never have particularly enjoyed it because it is so chaotic and you fall behind so quickly, and because it is linear, it's hard to catch back up. Don't even know. This bit in particular, I feel like I always get hit and I always drop down a bunch of places through no fault of my own. Case in point. We're back up and running quickly, though. Well, how did we dodge that? And I hate this final section so much. I truly do. Yep. Well, that sucked, but Spaceport always sucks. What else is new? Think we lost points on that? One more. We'll do one more. I keep saying one more, and then it's actually going to be one more. Don't worry about it. Just one more. The theme is very good, and how it kind of dynamically changes as you go. And you just sort of dump off into the ether here. Is that Crown City? It is. In the distance. Beautiful stuff. Whee! Wow! Woo! Wow! Whoa! All right, take a pick here. We got Desert Hills. We got Crown City. I was going there myself. Can I start where I am? Or Peach Stadium or random? Drake's. Ah, poaching the studs, I see. Of course. 5, 4, 3. We always vote Peach Stadium because that is the opportunity for you to get Rainbow Road, because it's the only one with a route to Rainbow Road. We did it before, and we got it, and it's mine. We got it before Rainbow Road, and it was a normal race on it, and I won. God damn it! The first time, I finally had a little momentum on that track, and I didn't get boned in the last section. It'll be in the VOD. I'm gonna clip it out just because it was like a monumental moment, and I finally got over that hump of why can't I protect myself on that last bit of Rainbow Road. So it was wonderful, and it really has been a turning point in this game recently. There you go. I wish it didn't burn multiple items when you're just dancing next to someone like that. If they stay close to you while you're hitting them, you lose all 3 of your items in some cases, and one spinning around you is just useless. Great snipe by me, though. It is considerably less frustrating now that I have a decent, comfortable cart build, though, I gotta say. It doesn't absolve it of all of its sins, far from it. But we're actually kind of having fun now, which is a nice change of pace. Water still sucks, though. Big time suck. I like that you have to go through Koopa Troopa Beach to get to the other side of this. Since we're in Seth Rogen's racetrack, have you played Monkey Nanza? I don't even know what you're referring to. Oh, do you mean Bonanza? Donkey Kong Bonanza? I have. I haven't gotten far. I've only played it for like an hour or two, but it is glorious, and it is pure mayhem, and I love it. I'm afraid of putting legitimate time into it because I know I'm going to get addicted. And then it's over for me, truly. This is a long section. I'm booing. That is huge. Well, that's big for us. Through my shell? It's all useless. Items don't mean shit. Oh, no! Lose all your items. That one's on me. I really hate that you lose your items when you fall. I really, really hate it. No, not at the end. Oh, at the end. Oh no. Again, I did that to myself. So that might be a point loss. Sloppy. Only 9 points. That's okay. Is that good enough to go out on to go to 8? What do you think? We got a D20 from Vinny though. My pal's back. How nice to see ya. Aren't you glad Nintendo made this intermission unskippable? Oh, I'm overjoyed. All right, we got a roll from Vinny here, and that is a 14, which means sink into the floor. Oh, just for you, buddy boy. Bye now. There we go. Oh, it follows me. Hi. I didn't know it could get me all the way down here. Oh, that's horrifying. Well, welcome to the floor. I'm down here, and center stage, folks. That's the Apple difference. Hashtag Mac. Nice to see it. Honestly, not the worst angle of me. All right, give us a vote in the chat. List out the track that you want to see. I'm getting up. Hello. The intermission was 10 minutes long, and the racetrack is only 30 seconds. The fuck? Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Foreshadowing oatmeal in the far away at the floor. It's inescapable. I know. But this, so that's a feature that a lot of iOS devices have had for a while now with the cameras. It's called center stage. So when you're on a video call or like FaceTime, it's especially useful if you have like your iPad propped up on your desk or something. It'll follow you around the room. And I have to imagine if they ever launch like a Google Home or like a Nest Hub equivalent, this would be a core feature of it. But it does it. You saw it sort of follows you around. So as you're moving around a space or shifting in your seat, it keeps your head in frame. It's wonderful. It just started working recently over continuity camera with within OBS on iOS and macOS, and it's awesome. It kind of makes the streams more dynamic. It's fun. It's a little distracting, but it almost feels like I have a camera person, and it's really fun. So no complaints here. I think it's cool. And one of those advantages when you happen to have all the Mac stuff working in harmony at the same time. I know a lot of us here maybe are a little more PC master race and poo-poo the Mac stuff, but it's been a really solid creative tool for me for a very long time. And you gotta use what works for you. It's not gonna be Linux. Sorry. That's what the Steam Deck is for if I want to poke around on a Linux build. I just go into desktop mode on the Steam Deck, and that is more than enough to satisfy those urges. Nascent as they are. Okay. Bonk. This is pretty chaotic. Did he hang back at that item box? I think we got him with that. Here we go. Keep the lines tight. Ugh. Let's try to take the big shortcut. Couldn't quite pull that off, but the boo came in at the right time, I think. Big time. Honestly, that kind of worked out better. You motherfucker. And I see the finish line. Welcome to my life. That's gotta be enough. All right, we're landing still in the mid 8300s, so that's pretty good. We gotta switch over to Mario Kart 8 now, as we promised, but man, I'm feeling a lot better about World. And I'm so glad that I actually bothered to switch it up and try different kart combos, and that was all really nice. We went through some of the programming notes beforehand. If you'll indulge us, we will... Oh. It's a great track, and you know it. All right. We're gonna, back to 8th. Just first to 8th. That's how it works. First to 10th, first to 12th. We're gonna take a short break. I'm gonna queue up the Mario Kart 8. In the meantime, we did release a new episode of the podcast recently, thinking back on some of Nintendo's unique connectivity features. So if you'll indulge me, we'll play a quick snippet for you during the interlude here. So you're watching Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Luam Cheatspeak. We'll be right back with more Mario Kart gameplay. Do not go anywhere. This time around, I thought it would be fun to look back at several of what I felt are the really unique connectivity features that Nintendo consoles have featured over the years and over decades. This is not a comprehensive list, but I pulled out 4 that I thought were interesting to note, and they are PictoChat, Miiverse, Street Pass, and Game Chat. So let's begin. Right off the bat, hearing the name PictoChat will probably spark endless nostalgia in some of you out there, and rightfully so. This was a messaging service all the way back on the DS family of consoles, which I feel gross saying all the way back already. I sprouted 5 more gray hairs as I said that, but the entire range, the Nintendo DS, the DS Lite, the DSi, and the DSi XL. And it was basically as its name described, Picto chat. It was a local messaging service within about 30 to 33 feet of you, standard Bluetooth device range, right? And only local messaging, no internet available, at least not, right out of the box on the console. So it was just people that were in your general vicinity that you could talk to. Text and hand-drawn images were supported via the touchscreen, so you could type out individual messages, send them to the entire room, send them across friends, make little doodles, draw on top of the text, move things around, with up to 16 people per room, again, in your general vicinity there. So you could drop in and drop out as you please, share all these fun little messages, and generally just kill time in that fun and unique way. Again, it sparks nostalgia for a lot of people, I think, because it was an absolute joy for kids and players of all ages to mess around with, wherever you had enough kind of social construct happening around you to justify messing around with it. Field trips, long car rides, parties. Nowadays, as a general nostalgia tool, if you boot the hardware up and go revisit some things and you happen to have friends around doing the same thing, it's a really great example of a unique piece of software that was packed in with a Nintendo product to help make it stand out and illustrate how their console and how their hardware was doing something that the rest of the competition really wasn't. You think back to those days in the early, mid, late 2000s when the DS family of products really were shining brightest, and with the sort of still nascent condition of the internet in a lot of places, instant messaging was still sort of confined to the computer room at that point. A lot of families still had like one dedicated way to access the internet and things like that. Smartphones really just sort of coming to bear with things like the iPhone coming out in 2007. This really was a novel way for people to communicate and provided some additional value on top of that, price you're paying to get that hardware in the box. It was always really interesting. It's still really cute and really fun. And again, it's just a good example of Nintendo-fying a feature that may otherwise not have those cute little touches. So that's always a fun one to think about. Jumping forward a generation, and that's where a lot of this talk is going to be. We have two that we're going to focus on from the sort of Nintendo 3DS realm of things. And the first is Miiverse. Kind of primarily maybe thought about via the Wii U, which is where a lot of Miiverse lived and was created, but also supported the Nintendo 3DS fully, as well as web browsers where you could sign into Miiverse, on whatever device could access the internet in that way. And what it was a simple kind of streamlined social network where users could upload posts, game screenshots, things like that, and join communities focused around specific games. So, on the Wii U, for example, you might have a Splatoon community, you might have a Mario Kart 8 community, a Super Mario Maker community, New Super Mario Bros., whatever the case was. A lot of those first-party titles especially had dedicated Miiverse communities where people could talk about specific things in the games that they liked, post their progress, post Mario Maker levels for people to find, and communicate with all sorts of different topics and things that were on their mind. There were also communities based around specific events that would happen during the year, like E3, where, again, players could give opinions on things, react to announcements, make their little drawings, whatever it was. I'm just going to interject here for one quick second just to tell you kind of where we're at with something. I'm waiting for, and this is one of the things that I actually really don't like that they recently implemented. I'm waiting to play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which you kind of can't see here, because on the Switch recently, they started implementing this thing called virtual game cards, where for downloadable content or digital stuff, you have to basically lock it to a specific console one at a time. So in this case, the DLC, like the Booster Course Pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I last played on my original Switch and not my Switch 2. So if I go to boot it up, you'll see here, I have to load the DLC on this system. So I try to do that, and I can't do it because my Nintendo Switch, the original one, is currently sitting on my desk charging because it is dead. So until that gets booted up, I cannot play with the Booster Course Pass content on this console, which is super annoying and would be the case for any other downloadable game that I had installed and played last on my original Switch. Now, this, in theory, shouldn't be that much of a problem because you're not ping-ponging between consoles too much, but because I have recently, I'm essentially locked out of this content that I have because I last played it on a console that can't connect to the internet because it is dead. So you better hope that you move all your game cards off of your old systems and onto this one, because now I'm basically at the mercy of this thing charging until we can actually play Mario Kart 8. super cool. I can start it without it, but without the Booster Course Pass stuff, I don't know what it would do. So that's the story. I'm going to kick it back to the podcast for a couple more minutes, and hopefully we'll be back with you soon. Please don't go anywhere. You are still watching Hypocritic GG. I'm Lou. I'm Cheatspeak. We'll have Mario Kart for you in just a minute. The drawings were always a really big draw, pun intended, I guess, for Miiverse, kind of building on that idea of PictoChat and being able to just doodle something quickly, send it out there. A lot of games would incorporate this sort of functionality and allow you to share those doodles in game, and we'll talk about that. But you would see some incredibly intricate and detailed artwork come out of Miiverse, where again, you're probably just drawing on the gamepad or the Nintendo 3DS touchscreen. So it was really remarkable what some people were able to do when they started spending a lot of time and paying a lot of attention to Miiverse. It was often really silly and very lighthearted for a lot of reasons. Obviously, it's all ages audience and appeal, where you have everyone from, very young children to assumedly much older players engaging with it, and a lot of moderation, a lot of the time, heavy moderation, though not always, kind of helping to keep the vibes, strong and in check and everyone feeling good about it. A lot of memes and a lot of sort of in-jokes amongst the Miiverse community spawn from this. If you look on the internet, you'll see things like, why can't Metroid crawl? Or the guy who posted about, water quality in various games, to the point where that was referenced in the Super Mario movie, right? Those are all good examples and very popular examples of the kinds of memes and jokes and inside references that this sort of community would spawn. And while, it was ultimately sort of limited to those that were super engaged with Nintendo's hardware, even though there was external web browser support for it, it, further served to unify and cluster together the Nintendo community at a time when the company was candidly struggling, where the Nintendo 3DS was finding some traction, but the Wii U was objectively more or less a failure and not particularly prolific in the marketplace. All right, well, I think I've subjected you to enough of the podcast for now. What we'll do is, while that's going and charging, we'll at least start the game, and we can poke around in time trials or something and get a feel for it again, coming back from World, just so we're not sitting there on that screen forever. I am pretty proud of the graphics, though, that show underneath when we do the podcast episodes. That's pretty nice. So will it let me play without the Booster Course Pass stuff? Let's see. We might not have even needed to wait. So much different. Okay. We'll cycle it once the OG Switch is booted up. We'll spectate here, and we'll see who we got. Bite Me, Creek Squad, FFTB Rubs to Brubs. Oh man, these Booster Course tracks. Oh jeez. Holy throwback. Okay, Creek Squad, you can do it. Let's switch around here. So right off the bat here, chat, what do you think? So there's the usual Mario Kart TV, cycle through the different racers that you're used to. And in World, how it handles it is you still race around the world while the game you're waiting for is happening. If you go to that track, you can race among them and sort of drive around and watch them go from the perspective of someone else on the track. Do we have a preference on what we think works better or makes more sense? Is that even something you have a preference on? Does that really matter? I don't know. I kind of like it both ways. I like this in that you can have a much more obvious perspective on how the race is going, and you can sort of get a feel for who you're kind of up against and, what their skill levels are and what they're doing. On the other hand, it's kind of fun to snake in and around the live race as it happens. And now that they recently added in 1.2 that little progress bar on the bottom that shows you how far through the race they are, I think that helps a lot too. Where normally you would just kind of sit out there with no inkling at all of when it was going to be your turn. And now you have that, which I think helps a lot and takes care of a lot of those initial kind of problems that made the approach maybe a little more stinky than it was. That's just something interesting. It did boot up now, finally, as I complained about it. So let's at least give a couple races. I think... So it's showing Maple Tree Way here because obviously that's what they were loaded into before. But now that I'm in it without the Booster Course Pass downloaded, it doesn't matter. Because they all just play online. Okay, well, every race is an opportunity for Baby Park, and we know that. I'm using tilt controls, hooray. All is right with the world. So I guess we really don't need to... I mean, I'll do the virtual card stuff after this anyway, but... Gotta be online. Did you see recently that Nintendo Switch and accessory prices have gone up in the United States? Tariffs have finally hit and are beginning to roll out across the product line. Let's talk about that for a hot second here. I think some of the accessories might have changed as well. Now this is, a lot of people are saying this is like unprecedented stuff for an 8-year-old console, and it's true. Let's race on goddamn Baby Park first, and then we'll discuss it. Oh, the 1080p is so... Oh, man, it looks a little chunkier. Oh, here we go. See, it is so much more natural. This... I'm just glad that I got World and Kart 8 to kind of feel similar to each other. Oh, this feels so good! Gotta hold your item. I missed the front-running music, which is something I wish World would do. If anything, World might feel a little tighter now with that, and that's a good thing. Yeah, that resolution boost does make a big difference. You can see the anti-aliasing, or lack thereof, a bit more coming from World to this. It's not a huge difference. We're lapping people here. Hilarious. Bullet bills are a lot more destructive in this. You gotta watch it. I don't even know how far ahead I am. Oh, our friend is coming though. Well, that's right. You front run the entire game and then you get knocked into hell, but second is fine. On Baby Park, we're not upset about that at all. We were straight up lapping people. That's fine. Yeah, but the price changing is nuts. So, no change for the Switch 2 yet, because they don't want to hike that so close to launch, and I understand that. It's probably a good idea. So, for reference, the prices have come into effect. The Nintendo Switch Lite has gone up by $30 from $199 to $229 US. The original Switch has gone up, I believe, $40 from $300 to $340, and the Switch OLED, insanely, has gone up $50 from $350 to $400. There is now only a $50 price differential between the Switch OLED and the Switch 2, which is insane. Why would you ever buy it at this point? Even before, the $100 price gap was maybe not super appealing. Mirrored 150 on Wario's Gold Mine. Kill me. Poor indie dev Nintendo needs money. I mean, there's a lot of nuance to that, and we'll discuss. There's a couple good comments on Reddit I'll probably read out. It's a very complicated situation. We won't put the political spin on it because we are explicitly an apolitical channel, and if you try to make it, we're strictly kind of reacting to the way that it's currently hitting the marketplace. Don't make it political or we will kick you out of here real good. Oh, yeah, well, see, this is what happens when you play World too much. You blew it! You forget things. The Switch 2 launch did go so poorly for them. You really feel for them, you do. I don't want to get in front of Mr. Red Shells. That was not the point of that exercise, but here we are. We just chowdered them. Again! I did it again! Those drifting nuances. It's just close enough now that it's messing me up. It's quite what I was looking to do, but we're catching up a little bit now. Okay. Honestly, for falling off twice, that'll work for us. All right, so what's the discussion here? Here's an interesting comment. According to other information in Nintendo's fiscal report, Switch 2 already had very slim margins, but it's a new product, so they're probably willing to eat the tariff. Devices as old as the Switch 1 start hitting a point where it's increasingly more expensive to produce because nothing else is using those parts to drive down prices through scale. Not enough to bring the price up in other markets, it seems, but in the US, where we're getting hit with tariffs, they probably don't see the need to take a hit for a product that's already being phased out. That's an interesting perspective. Now, let's go Merry Mountain. Not sure if I get that. What don't you get? I think part of it, too, is it sort of compensates and in some ways also prevents them from having to do that price hike, which would, you know, be in some ways, I think, catastrophic for them on the Switch 2. They avoided it at first at launch by kind of raising the prices of the accessories more or less across the board, keeping the core console at the same price. Now they're seemingly compensating for the tariffs additionally by hiking up the original Switch's prices instead of the Switch 2's. Kind of keep that value proposition healthy, which I again completely agree with. Let's get away from that. I always miss those item boxes. Wario! Bully Wario. Not sure what I expected there. Not sure what I expected there either. Nail both boxes just in time to get smacked. Isn't it weird how you have that same amount of item chaos seemingly, but it just feels so much more destructive in World than it does in 8? I just think that's so interesting with how things are balanced. Okay. We are going to figure this out. Yep, I deserve every bit of that. Disgusting on my part. Pathetic, actually. Did not do nearly enough to get around that. Bad, 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 bad. Rusty too. See, that's the thing. That's why I would not play a lot of Mario Kart Tour after a while, because the better I got at Tour, the worse I got at 8, because my muscle memory and my way of thinking about, like, taking this turn or using this item, it became hard to kind of compartmentalize. So, what else were we saying about this? Let's see. So yeah, they announced all this, and that took effect today. Other Nintendo products, including certain Nintendo Switch 2 accessories, select amiibo, and the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo, will always see adjustments. So did they crank up the accessory price again? Let's see. I'm trying to find where that's listed out. So bear with me here. I'm gonna go Mario Circuit. I might not get it by the time we get into the match here, and it's big blue, that's fine. All right, we'll look after this. Because it is interesting and impactful, because if that's true, and I'm curious to see how true it is, that would be the second time in, what, 3 or 2 months that, oh, should have drifted there, that the Switch 2 accessories will have seen a price increase in America, which is kind of nutty when you think about it. Yeah, we're rusty junkets here. We got them, though. We got them real good. I can only defend so much. It's funny how using those lighter characters in World actually makes the drift feel a little more satisfying. Just a lot of red shells back there. I think it is tighter with my build in World. That's kind of nutty. The coin in second is super good for my mental health. Missing that item box is going to be great because I'm not drifting right now. Fucking give me a break! And I'm misaligned here. Deserve that. Just sloppy with the drifting. It's ironically now feeling tighter in World, and not quite as much in this 8 build. So that's a little getting used to. All right, I need to find some price discussions on this. New. Hot. Let's see. I guess some sweet, sweet canyons on the docket here. Okay, so according to this... see if that's true. Maybe not? I'm not seeing that online at the moment. At least not on Amazon. This is supposedly what they will be, and we'll get to that right after the race here on Sweet Sweet Canyon. Have not yet dethroned Ivancito. Also a Rosalina. There can only be one. No. I'll not allow it. There we go. I was gonna say, are you serious about the red shells again? I'm like overcompensating almost for the drift now. Okay. Can't see. I definitely wanted to hit that backwards. That just got out in time. Okay, sloppy. Let's focus up. It's going to cost us going into this. Odds are triple reds behind me. What are the odds? Oh, even better. Still got it, but only just. See how it actually gives you a little bit of incentive and ability to front run? That's the difference here. Again, the RNG mobile really... oh, you fucker! No! The RNG mobile really takes hold in World. But there we held it pretty much the whole time, and a little bit sloppy on my part even. Gotta ease back into it, you know. All right, so supposedly these are the new prices for these accessories in America here. Joy-Con 2, a set of Joy-Con 2s goes from $95 to $100, which I think is bonkers. We're now at the point where $100 controllers are routine. The Switch 2 Pro controller is already $100, which is nuts, and now the regular Joy-Con supposedly are as well. On Amazon right now, I'm still seeing list price $94.99 on sale for $90. So maybe that hasn't hit yet. Joy-Con 2 straps supposedly go from $14 to $15, which I find a little odd. This is where it's crazy. The Switch 2 dock set supposedly going from $120 to $125 US for a dock, which is, I think, and now that comes with an AC adapter and an HDMI cable still. And the GameCube controller supposedly goes from $65 to $70. Nutty, man. Ultimately, kind of where you want that stuff to go, but let's see. It also hit the Nintendo Switch Online controllers, which all went up $5 to $10 more a piece. There's more. I'll read them all out here after this. Yoshi Circuit, if you insist. The music's a little bit louder in 8.2, so you can hear it a little more directly than you can in World, and I think that's a little bit weird too, because World has just this unbelievably good soundtrack, and it gets buried underneath all the chaos so often. But I can hear it very clearly here, with the front-running drums too, which, again, I miss in World. I wish they would put in. At least for the main track themes, I understand with, 200 plus songs in the soundtrack and they're all, kind of the freeform jazz style. You might not. That might be a little much. But for the core tracks of the game, I think it's reasonable. Unless, are there front-running variations? I don't think there are, but I maybe don't know that for certain, so maybe I should get my facts straight. Here comes my buddy. Hi, friend. It had been like 30 seconds since I'd seen you. Well, I've been sufficiently punished out of first, so... see if we can punish our way back into it. Where are you going? Where are you going? I guess second's fine. Absolute wobbly. It's crazy. All right, so according to this site here are all of the price adjustments on everything. So we talked about the consoles already. Here's what it has. The NES, the Nintendo Switch Online controllers. The NES controllers have gone from 60 to 70, which I think is insane. SNES controllers have gone from 30 to the 35. Then N64 and Sega Genesis controllers have gone from 50 to 55. The standard Nintendo Switch Pro controller has gone from 70 to 80, while a single Joy-Con has increased from 80 to 90? That doesn't make sense. The Alarmo accessory has been raised from 100 to 110 US dollars. Meanwhile, Amiibo figures, once priced at $15.99, now retail for $19.99, with multi-pack options like the 2-pack variants, seeing similar increases to either $35 or $40. Some retailers have responded differently to the shift. GameStop, for instance, has raised the price of the Switch 2 Pro controller from $85 to $90, while outlets such as the original Nintendo Store have retained the original $85 pricing. They're currently $100 on Amazon. The Switch 2 Joy-Con controllers remain at $95 USD, although limited time discounts have brought them down to $90 at places like Amazon and Target. There's some additional information here, which I will share right after this, because we're on Mario Circuit Mirrored. Oh, God. Who asked for this? No, I don't mind Mario Circuit. It looks so bad. Oh, God. I'm sorry, but especially compared to coming from World, God, a lot of these Booster Course Pass tracks are just donkey-doo, aren't they? Now, it looks a little better in here, right? But, jeez. It really makes the difference even more stark, ultimately. He had 2 defensive items. Impressive. And that's good. Well, that's that. Yeah, oh, that's definitely that. Okay. Can you blame me, though? Did that explode in midair and then I got hit by something anyway? I think so. It's real clown hours now. I see. shit out of control. Boom me, baby. We'll take third. Not as much rage, honestly. We figured out a lot of stuff about World, finally. So that went reasonably well. And we've been top 3 in every race so far in 8, I think. For the most part. So that's not too bad. All right, here's the rest of this. Despite the emergence of the Switch 2, demand for the original Switch remains strong. Nintendo reported during its first quarter fiscal year 26 update that the console had sold 153.1 million units worldwide as of June 30th, 2025. Even during the same quarter that saw the launch of the Switch 2 in early June, the original system managed to move almost 1 million additional units, indicating continued market interest in the legacy platform, which is pretty wild. Let's do a 1-to-1 if we can, comparison on Sky High Sunday here. So that's why that stuff sort of hits hard. And it's interesting to see. Wheezing almost triple digits for a controller. Nah, I'm good. I'll just watch the display in Walmart. It really... Oh, we actually got it. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Like I said, right now the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller is $100 at Amazon. Crazy. And that is, again, that would be the second increase on Switch 2 accessories since it was announced, which I think is just nuts. And how, it's, again, just crazy to me how much this track in particular benefited from a real, like, built-in do-it-right pass from, like, the art teams and everything. This, I mean, did it look bad? I don't really know. It doesn't look great, but man, is it so much better in World. It's not even funny. Immediately punished. It's fine. Good timing there, unless I hit him. We both got it at the same time. Oh, went around me. Unlike World, you often do feel like you can stage a comeback. This is certainly not helping. Oh, that was lucky. That'll work. You can be a lot more targeted. There's just so much less chaos. In regional play, the item collision is a lot more reliable, for better and for worse. You see, I just got the shit horned out of me there. And we still wound up in fourth. That's the difference. And I didn't lose points for that. Even though I'm miles ahead of everyone else in the room, I did not lose points. Bite me. This place loses... The place loses in Kart 8 feel more fair. Yeah, I go from first to third. Hey, good timing on an opponent. Go from a comfortable lead to 8th. F off. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. First to 10th, first to 12th by getting hit by one item. And then in such quick succession because World is so much more fast-paced in that regard. Like, it's just item hit, item hit, item hit, item hit. No downtime. The invincibility frames are kind of non-existent. There's so much clustering together, so you're getting whacked by items more often, more consistently. it's a lot less fun in that regard, at least. Now, again, if you like that sort of RNG challenge to it, and you don't mind it being so kind of roll of the dice, and you can roll with that, there's a great experience there. I'm still really struggling to adapt to that change and make that transition, and time will tell if we get there. But until we figured the lightweight kart stuff out, it was really disheartening, and I was not enjoying myself playing World at all. My thinking kind of was, and you know, for as dramatic as this sounds, if we went into tonight's stream and it was that much more pain and suffering and so much unfun, that would have been the last time probably that I streamed World. I would have just kind of put it in a box, so to speak, and stuck it in the drawer and not really thought about it much. Because it is so frustrating a lot of the time, and it is so unfun in that regard. Why spend time on it? Why go nuts if you're not genuinely enjoying it? Now, we yell at Kart 8 all the time, and we've had our fair share of complete and total crash outs with this game, and that's for damn sure. And yet, and maybe it's my own bias in skill with it, but I've always enjoyed Kart 8, and I would keep coming back to it more and more often. But I've really struggled to make that transition with World, and I think we're kind of getting over that hump, finally. But not entirely. Not yet. You see what I'm saying, though, chat? Does that make sense? Does that make any sense? I think that squished itself, anyway. I knew it! It's fine. Okay! I don't want the bomb anyway. Oh god, oh lord, he coming! I missed that entirely. Okay, so I handed him that one. Seemingly. Yeah, I mean, why not? 2 red shells, that's right. Let's give ourselves a fighting chance here. Nope. You earned that one, buddy. And isn't that always the way? You front run the entire game and then they slowly chip away at you. I can't complain. We, you know, second in this, you know, we will take over 17th in goddamn Kart World any day of the week. Jesus, someone give me a whiskey. Wonderful. Well, as we were saying before, some programming notes for you. We are officially on the road to PAX West. Somehow, probably a little later than I would have liked. But here we are, because we are just about 3.5 weeks away. Well, 26 days. Do the math. A little less than 4 weeks away from PAX West. It's going to be great. We're going to try to do more of that convention-focused content throughout the month of August. So there may be some fun reviews coming down the pipeline related to games that we've covered from PAX's past. We've already sort of kicked it off with Control-Alt-Deal last week, which was a game that we covered at East. We may revisit some of the games that we saw at PAX West, which, you know, among others would be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. And I'm not sure what else from that stack has come out since. Even things from, you know, just different PAXs, this year's East, others in general. Other stuff related to that convention experience. So that means we'll probably do another Jackbox night, if y'all would like that, somewhere up before then, because Jackbox is such a constant presence at shows like this. So I think that would be fun. We haven't done one, I think, since the Road to East back in April or May anyway. So that would be fun. Keep the coin to get up to speed a little faster. You gotta go for those double item boxes. You just gotta. And I clipped the... Oh, ah. I clipped the... What do you call it? The grass, so I lost my drift. It took me so long to form that sentence. I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of a race. You must understand. I should be concerned about boos. I'm not really. Have we been booed once this game yet? Don't answer that. We're gonna jinx it. Doesn't matter. Look at the lead on that, though. We're going to clock that. They're crossing the finish line now in second place. That's an entire jingle's worth of time in between that. That's crazy. It's just water. Love me hydrate, homies. Got to stay hydrated. It's true. What about the Stardew Farm? What about it? That's the second time this has come up tonight. We should restart it, shouldn't we? We had kind of fallen off of it for a while just because Full Metal and Xerox were part of the core group there, and with us kind of doing more focus on the separate channels, that had sort of dropped off. Maybe we start a new one? Question mark? I don't know how to... I gotta think about that one, but... Chickens starved to death by now. I have not touched it, to be fair. We have not messed with anything. There's a vote from Fort for random. A lot of Rock Mountain love here. But yeah, the Stardew. So I think we already have a bunch of streams we want to do in the run-up to West here. FBC would be a very good one to do. Community FBC night. We want to do a Jackbox night. We want to do a Stardew Farm revisit. It randomed into... See, it can happen here too. It'll random you into one of the three that were there. FBC, Jackbox, Stardew Farm, and Cozy Night. Maybe the Cozy Night is a Stardew Farm night, and Sarah and everyone jump back into it. That might be fun. We'll put together a plan. So this is kind of an irregular airing night for us, and we know that. So we'll have something on Tuesday for everybody. As usual, I know we'd missed the last couple of weeks. Life gets in the way. But we'll be back on the normal schedule. Well, no banana for you. That'll learn you. I'll take the single coin for that one, because that was just too satisfying. I should have kept it. I should have kept it. Back to the coin. And punished. Yep. Okay. From like all the coins to none of the coins. Fuck off, maybe? Just a little bit? You can do that, can't you? That's fine. Lost points for that one. Get randoed into an intermission map, bozo. That's what it kind of feels like. That's what it does feel like. All right, where are we here? Give us a vote if you so choose. We're rolling though. We got ourselves some, and it's a nice, like, more condensed lobby. There's not as much. Remember when we used to think that this game was like the end all be all of chaos and it was like uninhabitable and shit was insane? Those were the days. Am I still having coffee at midnight? Yeah. What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Pocket Hero! My hero. I think they're on my friends list. Hi there, Pocket Hero. I see you from time to time. But it's a school night, I know. That's the advantage of school from home, kids. Remote learning ain't all that bad. Oh, is this... This felt like 200. Is this 200? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, God. All right, well. Strap in, bozos. Yep. That'll happen. Bumper rails always. Jeez. I was gonna say, I was happy to just stay on the track. I did not just stay on the track. I could never have gotten out of the way of that. Oh, chowdered. Not again. That kind of worked. Oh, we broke it. We broke everything. It is hard. 200 is hard. Make no bones about it, folks. That's a lot of 200 you gotta deal with there. Especially when you're not expecting it. You're like, exactly. Even the camera pan, it was like, you okay, bud? Oh, think about this one. I know it's tempting. I know we got some options here. Think about it. Think about it. I wish I could have it zoom on me. You have the power of the purse here, Fort. You, unless other people have some thoughts here. Vinny coming in with cheese! The rules in 8 are first one to get it in, so... Vinny beat you to it, Fort. I'm sorry. Cheese it be, but I appreciate the sentiment of no one picking Wee Rainbow Road. So that's nice of you. It's gonna be desert anyway. Yep. You got your wish. Look at that. My vendetta continues. you're seeing the kind of consistency a fair bit more, I hope, in the the difference between the two games here. When I say that things are a little more under control in Kart 8, it doesn't feel like things get so wildly out of hand or that they're so far out of your control. Like, you get Mario Karted from time to time, and that'll happen. Well, okay. But when I talk about it feeling so random, and it's relentless, you know what I mean? And I think you've seen that, where there's so much chaos, it's so oppressive in World. Sometimes it's hard to have fun. Especially if you can't just, Jesus take the wheel it and let the randomness kind of dictate what's going on. It would even feel that way in stuff like Mario Kart Wii, which I always felt was a little bit imbalanced. Well, not a little bit. Pretty imbalanced, and you're really chaotic. Double Dash 2 in a way. What? What? Did I let go? Oh, before he could get it out. That's nice. Into the dirt we go. And we have a defensive Croft here, so that's looking good. See where that gets us. I think it's faster to just drive normally. Roll across the finish line. Tilt and tumble. It's Kirby's Tilt and Tumble, as it turns out, up in here. Who knew? All right, I'm going to make some notes here, chat, just so I remember all the stuff that we got to play between now and West. Hold on here. I don't have my notepads anymore. I ran out of Post-its, too, so I can't really do drawings. You're overruled. I'm sorry. I had a notebook. Here it is. And it's not just any notebook. It's a notebook from our good friends at Whitethorn Games. Beautiful. All right, so this is the inaugural note in said notebook. Streams. FBC Firebreak. Stardew. What else did we say? Jackbox. There was one other one. What was the fourth? We got it! Oh, baby. Here we go, my dojo. Get him away from me. Front running already. You'll love to hear it. Let's go, baby. We are here. Of all the gin joints in all the world. That's a substantial lead. This is going to come crashing down on us at some point. Like right now. Not a terrible place for that to happen. That stopped both of them. That was maybe the best bomb I've had in a while. That stopped 2 red shells. Because they were thrown so close together. That's why you don't do that, folks. is Rainbow Road! Another bomb. He's gonna drop the bomb there, but 2 bombs? Wow, that's another. Haven't seen that in a while either. Interesting. Very hard defensive setup because that's all manual more or less. Oh god. Okay. Putting me through it. Here we go. It's a nice treat for somebody. Another bomb! Alright. I mean, I'm intrigued. That'll work. Number 2, you're too late for that, buddy! By a mile! We're gonna finish. They didn't even cross the finish line before the jingle ended. That was it. Now, is it a little unfair to the room? Probably. Did you see those scores? I get it. At the same time, you know we gotta do it to them. Get out of my house! This is my house! What do you think this is? You wanna come up in here, challenge me in my own turf? I built the whole damn space station with my bare hands in space! Please. Well, every race is an opportunity for Baby Park, so you know. I like that has become my, like, inside joke for it when we win, especially convincingly on Mario Kart 8 Rainbow Road. That's what I have to yell. It was a short that we did a long, long time ago. I had fun with the edit. I built the whole damn space station with my bare hands in space. And that's what you say when you win. There's an op. Full Metal go op. And we got a D20. I paid the mortgage on this place years ago. It's true. That's a 10. Some dabs. A D6 worth of dabs. We're on Dragon Driftway anyway. That is all 6 dabs. All right. In we go. 1 dab. 2 dab. 3 dab. 4 dab. 5 dab. And 6 dab. Camera was zooming in on that one. What was the 4th stream we were supposed to do? There was Firebreak, there was Stardew, there was Jackbox. What else? Gotta check my logs, check my notes. I don't remember what the 4th stream was. You enjoy that single banana. Ugh. Is this one of those tracks where every single item box has a double option? Because a lot of tracks, there are just singles, and that's where you can run into some front-running challenges. But I think there's 3 item drops on Dragon Driftway here, and each of them have a double item box. So you can guarantee yourself a defensive item at some point every time. And they're not... He stole it again. They're not, like, crazily placed either. So you can get them pretty consistently and not have to go super out of your way. Because some of those double item boxes are intentionally placed so that you have to kind of take a suboptimal line through it, you know? They're at the very edge of the track, you know, on the outside corner like I'm taking now. Not here. So that really helps front run. Same place every lap the boo came in. I think that's interesting. We're gonna get hit again. Unless we can finish. And we do. Again, that's a huge gap. That's just gotta be the room that we're in. Again, second doesn't even cross the finish line before the jingle ends. That is some nasty shit. Firebreak, Stardew, Jackbox, Halo! We haven't done a Halo night in a while. Because we're on the I hate Xbox train, I guess. Ooh. What else did we say? I thought there was something else. Make good choices here, chat. I thought there was something else that we... What the hell did I say? There was Firebreak. There was Stardew. There was Jackbox. Other stuff from PAX, I know that, but we were going to try that anyway. Can't remember. Randoming out of it. You are a bold sir. How are you all doing? We've, you know, we asked how is Gamora, but we don't ask why is Gamora. Fort, Vinny, catch me up, everybody. Full Metal, how we all doing? Staying safe, keeping well, I hope. Catch me up on life and things. We haven't streamed in a couple of weeks. We gotta keep up with each other. We're on Waluigi Pinball anyway. I will say, and I was telling Sarah about this last night, I had some wild dreams. And, you know, in the spirit of keeping up with each other, I dreamt that I was being arrested for having driving a self-driving car or being in a self-driving car without a license, even though you're not driving it, and finding out at the like pseudo police station I was at that I had cancer. So I'm not stressed at all. To the best of my knowledge, I do not have cancer, by the way. So you're under arrest for having cancer in a Toyota. You're simply existing in a Waymo, but also your bones are fucked. Actually, so there's a little bit of backstory behind that makes it a little sad for me, and I'll tell you at the end of this race here. Get him? I think so. I did. Under arrest for needing health care. That's 30 to life. You're goddamn right it is. Timing on that. Wow. Ooh. So maybe they missed that item box too? That would be helpful. You stay tiny for so much longer compared to World. It's funny how, again, in World, everything is so much more transient, but feels like it hurts so much more. Items are obviously more impactful in 8 than they are in World. But because of the, again, amount of sheer chaos and how closely players get clustered together, it feels so much more catastrophic getting hit by something than it does in 8. You know, you get hit by one thing in 8, you can kind of maybe mount a comeback and it's not that big a deal. You get hit by one thing in World and it no matter when it is, first lap, you know, okay. Whenever. Feels like the end of your game. Dreams of bagels in the ocean. No. We've just gotten back into the groove of being a Full Metal. We like that. That's good. You're nervous. Did a double feature of Kill Bill last night, so that was fun. That's a good one for it. That's speaking of movies and theaters, The Naked Gun came out this weekend, the remake, and I am dying to see it. I don't see much theatrically anymore. When we were living in Manhattan, we really didn't have easy access to a theater. Now we do. The last thing I saw in theaters here was The Final Reckoning, Mission Impossible. It was fine. But it is. They are fun movies. I just want to play Fortnite, but we have an air conditioner being held together with scotch tape to fix. Oh no. Is that precluding you from Fortniting? Superman and Fantastic Four. That's right. I gotta say though, I've heard both are very good. I'm just so off the superhero train. I can't muster up enthusiasm to want to see them. I know Full Metal, you do a lot more kind of Marvel-centric stuff. So I imagine there's a lot more appeal there, but I just don't have a ton of interest anymore. Superman put a super smile on my super divorce. Eventually, that's gotta, you know. The world will put that behind you. The Naked Gun. Never seen the original. So you did see the new Naked Gun, Fart? Do I have like controller drift here? Because I'm like tilting to the right a little bit. Whoa. Ease up, boss. We like Excite Bike Arena, though. I think online it does too. It has the dynamic layout, right? God. So the order of the humps can change. Well, someone will use that. Oh! I meant to get that out in time for him to get hit by it. Now he's got a red shell in first. We can break that. Or we'll just pass him completely. There you go. There's the shell. Doesn't matter. I thought for sure I was gonna get away from that. Well, good timing, though. Brilliantly calculated on our part. Oh, flawlessly done. Wink, wink. Nicely done. See what I mean? You can get whacked by stuff and still mount a comeback. It's great. Super. Yeah, I saw Naked Gun and Bad Guys 2 after work the other day. Regal Unlimited goes. That's the best use of that meme I've heard in a while. I'm very excited about it. I love that sort of old school, like 80s spoof movie humor, like you would see in The Naked Gun or Airplane especially. So it's a lot of just those really dad jokey kind of deals. In the trailer, my favorite was like Liam Neeson is interrogating a guy. He's like, says here you serve 20 years for man's laughter. And the guy goes, you mean manslaughter? And he goes, must have been quite the joke. I love it. I love it. And I mean, if I even look up the reviews here, if we do that quickly, Rotten Tomatoes. Not that this is the end all be all, but The Naked Gun is at 91%. We have a lot of good movies out right now. The Bad Guys 2, 86%. The Naked Gun, 91%. The Fantastic Four, 86%, which that series, after so many subpar Fantastic Four movies, I'm glad it has a good one. And Superman, 83%. Together, 91%. We're just in the middle of a really, really solid chunk of releases, aren't we? That's great. The only Naked Gun I saw was the pistol from Halo CE, baby! That is a Naked Gun. Ninja Hideaway. It's gross. What's even to the left of me here? And it's 200. Oh, god damn it. I wasn't looking when it got selected. Oh, no. That's off the track. This is insane. I can't even stay on the track. I didn't even get a chance to drift. And still, we're in second somehow. Good luck with that. Okay. I thought we were really gonna dodge the blue shell with that one. That's fine. That's fine. That was bonkies. $23,000 points though behind my face here. Again, it's maybe not the most fair lobby that we're in, but we'll take it. All right, we'll do a couple more races here just to sort of ease into the evening here. You're gonna get that dry desert going after all. Over and over and over. Blue shell in Kart 8, third. Yeah. Oh, I'm reading that wrong. Blue shell in Kart 8, third. Blue shell in World, may as well return the console, it's bricked! It's Garbo. Ease into this. Yeah, oh, we're gonna ease into it. Bum, 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 bum. Where do we end up? Shy Guy Falls. What's Papone mean? P-A... Papone is a French word, especially a diminutive and affectionate term for dad or daddy. It's a cute way of saying papa, and is often used by children as a term of endearment. So, our French-Canadian friend there is teaching us the culture. That's why it's important to be worldly, friends. Get out there. Know what's going on around you. There's a shortcut there. I should be taking it. I don't. That doesn't really benefit me because I'm just going to get a coin off of this and he's going to get a red shell and I'm hosed. Or I don't even get to use it. Yep, see? You predict. You know what's going to happen. Why even tempt fate about it? That was close. That'll learn you. Okay. Is that worth it? Nope. Oh, that locked on her! Yes, we did that just in time. Got out ahead of her after the blue shell already locked on. That was well executed, if I do say so myself. You tempt the timing on that, you tempt fate a little bit. It's worth it, though. There you go. Hit by an item, recovered, did it the right way. Snaps. Snaps for Patrick. Wonderfully done. We got a Palbert playing Bonanza. And we got a D20 coming out from Fort. We can do that. Dice cam, please. That's an 18. You really gonna make me hold that T-pose? For 50 seconds? I guess so. After this, most likely. We'll open the clock app in the background. I can't T-pose while I play. Unless, does this count? Let's say that counts. I'll do that. All right, we're gonna vote. Mount Wario's the vote, and we're gonna T-pose. See, I back up and it zooms on me. You can see it. We're T-posing. We got it. T-pose gaming. All right, so we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna bring it in with the elbows up for the last 25 seconds here. Observe the T-pose. This sucks. This really sucks. Oh, God. All right. And I got to keep tabs on the clock here so I don't T-pose for too long. 5, 2, 1. T-pose done. That cost me dearly. It might have motion controlled me down. You're welcome. We'll earn it back. There's definitely drift in this controller I have to sort out. Oh, busted. Corey, you a busted. We love a defensive item off a single item box. See, that was an example where it's harder to front run with just a single item off of that. There's no double box option. I didn't even mean to do that. But here we are. But we'll hold the rupee. Not even, though. So now we grab the double. Not super boo concerned here, even though it's pretty much a full lobby, right? Yeah, see, no double box option. So you come at this with nothing in first, you're probably getting that coin, so to speak. Good luck. Strategery. We don't want to leave that ramp open for them, so we often don't activate it in first, because then they have to do the legwork and get it going themselves, and that's something more concerted for them to focus on. Just it makes them work that much harder for it. Not that it matters much. Boom, baby. Again, that might have been our largest. No, he was there. was going to say, that was our largest margin yet. That was wild. It was not. But it was close. Yes. All right. If we have one or two more successful goes at it here, I think that might be enough for the evening. So we'll remind you of our programming notes before we take off for the night. We are on the road to PAX West officially. Informally kicked it off with the Control-Alt-Deal review, and we thank Only by Midnight and all the kind, lovely folks at that Canadian studio for giving us a look at their game. Quite fun. It's a unique kind of deck-building strategy card game. If you haven't watched the review, it's up on YouTube. Give it a look. I think it's $20 or less on Steam and on most consoles, so go for it. We'll have another stream for you Tuesday, and we certainly have a long list of stuff we want to get through. We will focus a little bit on the convention-centric stuff, so we'll do a Jackbox night for sure. Maybe one or two other games that we've seen recently, or that are key to the PAX experience as we know it. We are on the road to PAX Westian City. It's a beautiful place to be. We're gonna see Full Metal in person again. What a wonderful time. Dan! Hello, Dan. Other than that, we have FBC Firebreak per community request. Fort, we have potentially a return to the Stardew Valley community forum or some other Stardew content. Probably a cozy night stream with Miss Nephroptosis Sarah in the next few days. She really wants to do a cozy stream. We might do it literally on our couch. Our setup is flexible enough to do that, and I think that would be really fun. To have a literal cozy stream where we're both just playing games together on the couch. That one might not be the community farm, but there are a couple of other fun and silly games that she found that I think would be really cute to try out. So we may do that. Bonk. Devastating. I think this is technically the faster route, so we do it. Me man, Dan. How many red shells? Oh, yeah. Oh, his name's Shells. That's fun. The single mushroom in 6th really drives the point home. We got him right at the end there. Cruising past shells, that'll learn you. All right, so what other programming notes do we have for you? As was announced earlier, and you probably know by now, we are teaming up with LandFest again at PAX West this time to raise money for charity. This time we're doing it for LandFest, with LandFest, and for LandFest directly. So more information on when that stream is going to happen, what games we're going to play, and how you can contribute, should you be so inclined, to come as we get closer to PAX West. But that is confirmed, and we're locked in with them, and they are the kindest of folks. So we're more than happy to partner up with them again and raise some money for a good cause. You love to see it. What else? More reviews, more of the usual stuff in the run-up to PAX West as usual. And it'll be a good time. So strap in. We'll stream again on Tuesday and hopefully try to put together a more concerted schedule of what we're playing when. Someone suggested a Halo night, so that would be fun. We get a nice 4-stack of that. Yoshi Valley, if you insist. It insists upon itself, Lois. Charity stream mentioned. Pal is wallet maxing. It was really humbling because I remember we were in like the top 10 of donors, I think, throughout all of LANFest for PAX East in terms of how much we brought in, because we brought in over $300, which I thought was just insanely generous of everybody. And we ultimately outraised even the main sponsor of the event, Zotac, which I thought was kind of wild. So that's a credit to all of you who contributed there. Yeah, we're going to do it again. And obviously, you know, it's never about hitting a specific amount necessarily. The fact that we got donations at all was shocking to me, frankly. So that's never like a requirement. I don't think we push it super, super hard. It's tough times, you know, but it's fun. It helps bring attention to a worthy cause, and it helps us sort of... Did that just... All right. Bypass me completely. You'll love to see this. So is it going to come around again? I don't know what it does in that case. If it goes for too long, does it just evaporate, or... It might actually come around again to hit me. Wow. No. Yeah, no, it takes a full lap and then it goes away. Oops. So yeah, it's not a thing where I want anyone or we want anyone to feel particularly pressured to donate for these charity streams. What is my controller doing? It's just something fun to do to bring, you know, their community's attention to us and our community's attention to them. It's a nice thing. But that's always fun. And then, like I said, yeah, we all miss John Halo. We do. Someday they'll do something with that franchise. That won't make us just sad. But yeah, more convention-centric content coming throughout August. And then, of course, PAX West is over Labor Day weekend. At the end of the month into September, it's going to be a good time. Reviews, all the usual stuff in the intro. Interesting to see what path the computer takes through this. I don't know that I've ever actually driven on that path in my life. Suboptimal. All right, 12:35 a.m. I think that's going to call it for tonight. Like these little weekend streams, though. Thanks all for tuning in. I figured, like, you know, we're just sitting around. I haven't streamed in a couple weeks. Let's get back to it. I'm glad got to see some of y'all, and we'll be back on Tuesday, normal time. Doing one of the above. It's either going to be the cutesy, cozy stream with Sarah, or maybe Firebreak. Maybe we do Firebreak on Tuesday. I don't know. We'll think about it. I might want to save the Jackbox stream for a weekend so that we can all kind of like cut loose and have fun and get, you know, drunk or high or whatever you want to do. It's your business. Follow your own state's laws, kids, and or country's laws. I don't know where you live. But at least from like my perspective, it's easier to just sort of cut loose, have fun, get a little crunk sauce, and doing it on the weekend. Not as easy or fun to do when you're in your 30s and you gotta work in the morning. So the facts of life. My pal's back and going to get. We're going back to West. It's gonna be great. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. This has been Hypocritic GG, streaming live on Twitch and YouTube. I'm Lewis, call me Cheat Speak, and that was Mario Kart World and or 8 Deluxe for you to kick off the road to PAX West 2025. We'll be in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Before you know it, reunited with Full Metal and doing our thing. But until then, join us again Tuesday for whatever the hell we decide to play. More reviews and content all along the way. You never know what's coming. Stay fresh, cheese bags. We'll catch you back here real soon.